welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. This is episode 356 from September the 16th of the year 2024. So it's a Monday, and today's episode is the last one of the 6 episode series. We did almost like a Netflix series on Isabella Green, and it's the last clip from that wonderful interview that, as on all the previous videos, the link to that interview is going to be on the video notes, on the video description. And today is about densities and dimensions. And on this one, I'm going to have a slight disagreement with Isabella. I'm not saying she's wrong and I'm right. I'm just saying that at this time, I understand densities and dimensions in one way, and she is probably ahead of me and she has understood it differently, okay? Chris Harrison, which I had on the show, actually gave me the insight, and my intuition validated that. It immediately rang inside me that he was absolutely correct. That I've been confusing densities and dimensions like they're one or the other, okay? Because I share that there's a school of thought that talks about dimensions, the 3D, the 5D as dimensions, and doesn't relate to densities, doesn't abide to that. That is called the law of one. And Chris Harrison shared with me the law of one, which I've already heard before, but the way Chris, and this was off recording, was not on the interview on the show Be of Service to Others with Chris Harrison. It was off after recording. And it immediately made sense to me. And the position I'm right now, which I'm probably still requires evolving and requires maturing and requires refining, is that inside this dimension, where right now, which is the 3D, the third dimension, there are densities. And that's why I include on the image, for example, a tree, a bird, a rock. I think there's a rock out there or a piece of something. So density is the way they work through the law of one. Again, I'm not saying that's correct. I'm just saying that's where I'm standing right now as far as my intuition. Is like, for example, something like a rock is the first density. Something like a bird, a tree. Oh, I want to clarify. Something like a drop of water is the first density. Something like a waterfall is the first density. Something like a wave out there in the sea is the first density. I've shared many times. I couldn't explain it, but I shared many times. Everything is alive. It's just our understanding of alive is probably not complete. So my suggestion was, if you are out there in the sea, appreciate the sea because it's alive, not the fish and the plants and everything on the sea that is biologically alive. The sea itself is alive. Okay, a wave in the sea is alive. A drop of water on the sea is alive. What is the first density? Nothing wrong with that. It's just a level of evolvement, a level of consciousness. Then, or dogs or cats. I shared like a year ago that I thought they were having a more basic experience. So in a way, different words, basically the same position I stand right now, they're having a second density experience, which I believe there's not the consciousness we have in this third density, which is only us on planet Earth. I want to clarify, humans. I stand by my comment that unfortunately, because of the level of immaturity and the level of lack of evolvement, if there was another third density species on planet Earth, we will be at war. And the best way to understand what I'm trying to say is if you have watched the movie Planet of the Apes, in a nutshell, if you haven't watched it, in a nutshell, what happens, apparently apes, through coming back from the future, it's very sci-fi, of course, but it's very complex. They evolve and they gain the third density. They gain the consciousness. They understand who they are. So when you understand who you are, then you start saying, well, maybe I'm on top of the chain. Okay, and that's the problem. The egoic mind goes with the third density. I don't think my dog, your cat, you have a cat, your bird, a bird you see out there, a bee, a tree has egoic mind. I don't think so. And it's not because they physically, animals do have a mind, mammals or whatever, and trees maybe they don't have a mind. There's nothing about that. The egoic mind is something that goes beyond the actual brain, the actual physical thing. Is this immaturity of the consciousness of saying, hey, what about me? I mean, I need to gain of this. I need to be right. I've shared many times, need to be right, needs to make sense. All of those things are from the egoic mind, are from the third density. I hope it's making sense now. So if there were two species with the third density here on Earth, we'll be at war. The other species will try to destroy us. That will be their egoic mind, and we will try to destroy it. On that movie, Planet of the Apes, it's very funny. I mean, what I'm trying to say is in a very unfortunate way, that when I think it's on the second, because it's 5 movies. I'm talking from the original ones. I didn't care for the remakes, honestly. I think they're Hollywood style action movies. The first ones were more slower pace, but very interesting. I believe they made one movie every year, starting 1968, I believe. So it was probably 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72, something like that. So I believe it's part 3 when they leave the planet of the apes, which is the Earth in the future, like 2,000 years in the future, year 3,800 or something like that. And they come back on the spaceship to Earth 1970s, of course, because the movie is from the 1970s. So they come back, and the apes, which by the way, they are the only ones that come back because the astronaut that went into the future dies, okay? So they come back on the spaceship, and at first they don't talk, so they seem like normal apes that they don't have and it's not the talking, okay? It's not the talking, it's the consciousness, it's the understanding, is that through the lack of maturity, the egoic mind takes over, okay? So they were playing dumb in a way because they knew if they started talking, but that, half the movie they start talking like, and at the beginning is something incredible, that apes talk and wow and everything, everyone is happy, but then the government get together, the system, whatever you want to call it, and say, hey, we can have this. We can have this. We cannot have this. We cannot have another species, because if they reproduce, probably their children and that are going to be conscious as well. And it's not the talking, it's the understanding. Is that getting out of the box. Consciousness is a gift. It's a beautiful gift of evolvement. But unfortunately, I believe on this third density, we're still not mature to appreciate it. Because we're not service to others, we're service to self. We listen to our egoic mind, we don't listen to our heart, to our divine connection. All of those things make the gift of consciousness basically what makes all the bad things that happen in this world is because of that. Because if we were second density, same as animals, everything will be fine. Honestly, everything will be fine. We will not have built cities and roads and destroyed ecosystems, and that's the third density. Through the egoic mind that doesn't understand that is not about us. It's about the everything, the unity, the consciousness, the unity consciousness, not the individual consciousness. So let's watch the support video. The last clip we're going to see from Isabella Green on that great support video. As I shared, she feels densities and dimensions don't work that way. Let's watch it together, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the short Monday episode on the last series or the last show on Isabella Green. Great, extremely great person, and very interesting information she shares. Let's watch it together.
Level, which is my next question to you. Are there different levels and dimensions that souls move through after death based on karmic and spiritual progression?
I have not observed that, to be honest with you. It's a great concept, and it's a very inspiring concept. And I think it helps people here to reach the next level or work towards hopping into the next level. But I have observed the low astral and the upper astral. And the low astral is something that we call hell, and very uncomfortable and pleasant place. But even those who end up there because they vibrationally match that kind of environment, after the life review, all go into the upper astral, which we call heaven. And that's a really beautiful, beautiful place. That's where you experience that heart opening love, but not even close to the love that you experience in samadhi, by the way, right? But it still is way more and crazy attractive for those who are here on earth, that we get just whatever crumbs of higher love here. So in the upper astral, that's where it's all that transparency, and you have revelations, and you can hang there for a while. And I mean transparency that you are not solid, and you experience that freedom of what we really are. And the music of the spheres, kind of that feeling, and the colors are beautiful, and you're surrounded by the beings that present themselves like either angelic beings or the beings that you believed in during your lifetime, or your loved ones. Right. Yeah, and so it's a very pleasant place, of course, and you can hang out there. I think you have a kind of choice there as far as how long you want to rest in there. But from working with people and doing past life readings, I've noticed that on average, people reincarnate about every 3 years. Unlike those who, I mean, 3 years after they pass, they go back. But there've been those who skipped a couple centuries. I've worked with those, and there are those who died from accidents or unexpectedly, and they were in young age and they felt that they did not finish yet, and they usually come right back like instantly within about 6 months to a year, and very often right into their own families as new children. So I've observed that as a phenomenon as well, because the soul is in such shock that it like the journey is interrupted. We say it's all by choice, but I've observed, and it probably is, but I've observed that they want to come back very.
Okay, a lot of information. That's why this clip didn't fit maybe densities and dimensions, but it's a lot of stuff. And again, a little bit about reincarnation as well, which had its own show like a month ago. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is dimensions, again, densities are different type of experiences through inside a dimension, as I explained. A rock, first dimension. A bird, second dimension. A human being, third dimension. Inside, densities. Oh, gets very confusing, I apologize. A rock, first density. A bird, second density. A human being, third density, inside the third dimension. What I disagree with Isabella is, yes, of course, we can all experience the omnipresence. It doesn't matter what we have done. We can all go to the highest rank, yes. What I don't believe we can do is access a higher dimension that is there to match the vibrational frequency, morality, basically, of the beings that are going to inhabit it. So the very famous or infamous, any way you want to see, the New Age or whatever, I'm not New Age, I don't abide with whatever they say, that we access the 5D through X, Y, and Z. You access the 5D by increasing your morality level, by increasing your vibrational level to match the 5D. So when you transcend, although there's this notion that there's going to be a flash, there's going to be kind of a rapture, okay? But it's very complex, so I'm not going to touch that. But there's this notion, okay, that we're going where I'm not including myself, that some are going with bodies and that, or that we are all going. Let's say like that. That's my wish to the universe, that all it experiences this new dimension. But we're not going through transcending through physical death. We're going in a flash. Okay, it's a one-time thing. Very special now for planet Earth on this inauguration of the 5th dimension level of vibrational frequency on Earth, or morality. Okay? So I just had recently a show on karma, not recently, like a couple of months ago. And I was talking that there is this information, this channeling from Chico Javier, very well known in South America, very well known channeler, a boy, a long time ago. And he mentions that Hitler was sent, after Hitler ascended from Earth in 1945, or never, let's not get into semantics, okay? Some say, no, he lived for 30 years more. Okay, whatever. Whenever Hitler ascended, he clearly has transcended. There's no way he's still alive. He clearly has transcended. He went to kind of a prison for 1,000 years. I don't agree with the prison word. I think it's a solitude experience. You're probably not, you don't need a body on that. Why? It doesn't make any sense at all. You are bodiless. Disembodied is also the term. And you are Hitler, the soul of Hitler is dimensioning all the pain, all the trauma, basically. Don't forget about pain and war. That trauma is a word that created karma on him. All that weight he's carrying around for all the trauma he created to millions, okay? Because you can say he didn't kill anyone directly. He did. He was the one. He was the mastermind. And it's not the killing only. It's all the suffering, all the everything he created to all the families, the ones that lost someone and they never saw them again. They didn't know if they ended up alive, dead. How did they die? Nothing. That's horrible. Okay. So in those 1,000 years, he has to dimension that. So that's how I believe it works. If Hitler does that and then he goes to the fifth dimension, I know what to say to you. I don't understand it. I think dimensions are there. If not, they wouldn't exist. Okay. If not, we'll just be in one dimension and just have different densities. But dimensions are there exactly to offer the experience matching your morality level. So some people say, are we going to need police on the fifth dimension? No, because we're not going to rob each other. It's going to be beyond us, thinking of hurting each other, of robbing each other, of defrauding each other. Are we going to need even governments? No, we're going to work together, okay, as a unity. They're not going to be personal agendas or minority agendas. Minority, I mean, the one, a benefit group, a group that benefits and the rest suffers, okay, like we have on this reality. That politicians look out for the ones that give them money, let's be honest, on almost every country in the world, even in Europe and all these countries, okay? Politicians work for the ones that fund their campaigns and give them money, lobbyists or what. That's beyond us in the fifth dimension. Who is going to be something that you are not even going to contemplate it. That's why it's going to be such a different reality, simpler in a way, because the vibrational level, the morality level is different. So that's why I could be wrong, but I feel dimensions are there to match the being. So if you wanna go rogue, if you wanna go wrong, if you wanna go evil, there are dimensions below the third dimension, negative dimensions even, the anti-universe. I spoke about that years ago, a couple of years ago. These sellers of experiences, that there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what you want to experience. If you want to go wrong all the time, you want to kill everything in sight, if you want to defraud, make suffer, if you want to, just create trauma all over, those are your levels, okay? Those are the dimensions for you. So unfortunately, the beings that go so wrong and think they can get away of going wrong all the time end up in these dimensions, and that's what you call demons, okay? So I'm not saying Isabel is saying you can get away with whatever you like. I think Isabel is saying basically the same thing I'm saying, just in different words, that basically you can clear your karma and then you access the omnipresence. She mentions another name, I forgot. And the highest astral and everything. Doesn't matter what you did. Yes, but you have to go through the process of the story of Hitler, okay? Once Hitler goes through that 1,000 years, he chose that number, okay? He chose 1,000 years. He felt he's gonna go as long as he needs. I don't even think the number is 1,000 years. It could be 10,000 years. He's gonna need all the time he needs to understand what he has done, to forgive himself, and to promise to the universe, hey, I got it. That's not gonna happen again. I get it now. I'm not to service to myself. I'm not gonna listen to my egoic mind. I'm to service to others. I'm to service to creation. I'm to service to unity. Okay? We are all the same thing. I want to be part of this same thing. I don't want to divide. I don't want to divide by creed, by beliefs, I want to do it. Once that Hitler is ready, yes, he can access higher dimensions and he can access everything. Okay? But that's the thing. I think the only thing missing there from the explanation is Isabella, she was probably saying it in a way that you go to the morality level you have at the time. Okay, so I think the lower astral, I just want to mention something. I already spoke about the astral a few times, and I probably just want to do a show on the lower astral because there's such confusion. I think the lower astral, personally, I think is when you attach to this previous experience. So yeah, will Hitler end up in the lower astral, which is a temporary thing, is before the 1,000 years, okay? Does it make sense? I mean, Hitler immediately transcends, he goes to the lower astral because he wants to be Hitler still. Because he says, well, I was Hitler, I was one of the most powerful. I mean, just imagining the attachment, okay? The attachment to that, of saying, hey, I was one of the most powerful men in the world, I was rich, I was powerful, everyone looked at me, the whole country looked at me. I want to go back, I want to be Hitler still. No, Hitler is gone. Hitler is gone. Your soul is not named Hitler, it's something else. And now you have to, by the way, through your own judgment, through your own pace, clear what you have done. Okay. And if you elect not to do it, which is your election, because you always have free will. No, I'm not going to do it. All right. Then you are going to go to a reality that matches your current morality level, which is not very high. So he could even probably, I don't think he could get away of reincarnating to Earth. Okay. He will go to a lower cellular reality. Okay. I hope it makes sense. I'm trying to explain so complex topics that, because this is information that I find very, very interesting and very important. And so I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I try my best, and I want to thank everyone. We are growing very well. I haven't mentioned that on the shows. We're growing very well. There's people helping me out with sharing the episodes through non-YouTube promotions through websites and that. Thank you for the ones that offer that. And it's working. We're growing very, very well. I'm very happy about everything, to be honest. Again, if you want to come on the show, you honor me. If you think there are other channels I can make collaborations with, please let me know on the comments, on the email. Because I don't have the time sometimes to search for these people to have excellent chats with. Okay. I'm trying to make time. Thank you very much. Have a great Monday. Great inspiration. See you back on Friday. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.